Do you know about a yokai who enchanted an emperor with her beauty, harboring ambitions to overthrow him and take control of the country? Her schemes were ultimately thwarted by an Onmyoji, preventing her from succeeding. Her actions destabilized the country and led to one of the most significant civil wars in Japanese history. This yokai is none other than the most beautiful yokai in Hyakki Yagyo, Tamamo-no-Mae. In this episode, we delve into the enchanting legend of this most beautiful yokai. Tamamo-no-Mae is a legendary yokai in Japanese mythology. According to legends, Tamamo-no-Mae was initially named Mikuzume and was adopted by the warrior couple Sakabe. She gradually blossomed into a beautiful woman. Renowned for her exquisite beauty and graceful demeanor, she was skilled in various arts such as music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. Due to her vast knowledge and unparalleled beauty, she was hailed as Japan's foremost talented woman. At the age of 18, she was appointed to the imperial palace and became a court lady to Emperor Toba. Thanks to her beauty and profound knowledge, she gained Emperor Toba's favor and quickly became the most beloved concubine in the palace. Before long, Emperor Toba bestowed upon her the name Tamamo-no-Mae. As time passed, Tamamo-no-Mae's power grew increasingly formidable under the favor of Emperor Toba. Soon after, Emperor Toba fell severely ill and became bedridden. Despite the efforts of the imperial physicians, they were unable to diagnose the cause of his illness. It was then that Onmyoji Abe Yasunari, the grandson of the famous Onmyoji Abe no Seimei, concluded that Tamamo-no-Mae was behind the misfortune. His judgment revealed that this favored concubine was not human at all, but rather a white-faced, golden-haired, nine-tailed fox. With Onmyoji Abe Yasunari's mystical intervention, Tamamo-no-Mae's true form as the nine-tailed fox was exposed, and she swiftly fled the palace, her whereabouts unknown. The white-faced, golden-haired nine-tailed fox is a classification of the nine-tailed fox. It is a yokai in Japanese folklore, ranked alongside Shutendoji and the Tengu as the three great yokai of Japan. In the future, I will be creating videos about the three great yokai of Japan, so remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on my future videos about these legendary yokai. It is said that before being adopted by the warrior couple Sakabe, the origins of Tamamo-no-Mae are unknown, because she was not born in Japan. Legend has it that she was born in China, and her previous incarnation was Daji, the most beautiful woman of the Shang dynasty. This connection suggests that Tamamo-no-Mae's legend has its roots in the earliest tales of the nine-tailed fox. The nine-tailed fox transformed into the stunning beauty Daji and became the favored concubine of King Zhou of the Shang dynasty. Daji and King Zhou committed numerous atrocities together. At that time, Daji invented many cruel torture methods to experiment on the common people, finding pleasure in their suffering as her daily amusement. Under their tyrannical rule, the people of the Shang dynasty endured unbearable hardships, leading indirectly to the downfall of the Shang dynasty by the emerging Zhou dynasty from the west. It can be said that Daji single-handedly contributed to the demise of the entire Shang dynasty. Daji escaped execution and fled to the kingdom of Magadha in India in the same year. This time, the nine-tailed fox transformed into the princess consort of Prince Bimbisara of Magadha, known as Huayang Tian. She used her beauty and allure to manipulate the prince, leading him to commit atrocious acts such as devouring children, murdering priests, and perpetrating other unspeakable horrors. Eventually, whether due to a shortage of children to consume or because Prince Bimbisara started to distance himself from her and embrace Buddhism, she fled back to China. Reappearing in China once again, the nine-tailed fox took on the guise of Bao Shi, the favored consort of King Yu of the Zhou dynasty. However, she was not content with merely being a concubine. She manipulated the king into deposing his queen, Queen Shin, and then Bao Shi was elevated to the position of the new queen. Despite her beauty, Bao Shi rarely smiled. To please his beautiful wife, King Yu committed absurd acts that would haunt him for the rest of his life. In times of peace, he even lit beacon fires as a false alarm, leading to the eventual downfall of the kingdom and his own demise. Bao Shi's fate remains unknown thereafter. No matter whether it's the captivating tales of Daji, Hu Yang Tian, or Bao Shi, it's impossible to cover all their fascinating stories in this video. If you're interested in learning more about the stories, feel free to leave a comment below the video and let me know. After the events involving Bao Shi, the nine-tailed fox entered a period of seclusion, leading a low-profile life under an assumed identity. Later, she joined a fleet of ships and arrived in Japan. There, she lived in hiding for over 300 years before once again assuming the form of a baby. This marked the beginning of the story where she was adopted by the warrior couple Sakabe and eventually married into the imperial palace. During her time in China and India, the nine-tailed fox was not yet a powerful yokai. However, after assuming the guise of Tamamo-no-Mae in Japan, she evolved into a formidable yokai, earning the title of one of the three great yokai of Japan. Tamamo-no-Mae's ambitions extended far beyond that of a mere queen. She sought to obtain control over the entirety of Japan. After her plot to assassinate Emperor Toba was uncovered by the Onmyoji Abe Yazunari, Tamamo-no-Mae fled and took refuge in Nasu, Shimizu province. Soon thereafter, reports surfaced of women and children disappearing in Nasu. Abe Yazunari determined that Tamamo-no-Mae was responsible for these incidents, and it was decided that she must be eradicated once and for all. Emperor Toba ordered the formation of a punitive expedition and appointed Miura no Suke, Chiba no Suke, and Kazusa no Suke as generals. Onmyoji Abe Yazunari was appointed as the military strategist. An army of 80,000 soldiers was dispatched to march towards Nasu. Upon arrival at Nasu, the army quickly discovered the whereabouts of Tamamo-no-Mae. The punitive expedition was overwhelmed by the formidable yokai magic of Tamamo-no-Mae, suffering heavy losses and retreating in defeat. Miura no Suke and Kazusa no Suke ordered the soldiers to intensify their training in horseback archery before launching another attack. This time, their strategy proved to be highly successful, as the punitive expedition pushed Tamamo-no-Mae back step by step. In a dream, Tamamo-no-Mae appeared before Miura no Suke disguised as his own mother, pleading for mercy. However, Miura no Suke saw through this ruse and realized that Tamamo-no-Mae's end was near. Therefore, he launched another full-scale attack. Ultimately, 2 arrows from Miura no Suke pierced Tamamo-no-Mae's abdomen, while Kazusa no Suke used his long sword to sever her head. With that, Tamamo-no-Mae breathed her last. Afterward, Tamamo-no-Mae's body was transported back to the capital. Despite her physical demise, her spirit did not dissipate. Instead, her soul took refuge in a stone near the volcanic crater, forming what is known as the Sessho-Seki, a legend that has endured to this day. Tamamo-no-Mae's obsession persisted in the form of the Sessho-Seki at Nasu, constantly awaiting the opportunity for revenge. The Sessho-Seki continuously emitted poisonous gas, harming nearby humans and animals. Even insects and birds that flew by were not spared. Any living being that came too close to the stone would perish instantly, making it impossible for anyone to approach the area for a long time. Over 200 years later, a high priest named Jinno was journeying through Shimizu province when he witnessed a peculiar occurrence. Birds flying overhead would suddenly plummet to their deaths whenever they passed over a particular boulder in the Nasu plain. At the foot of the stone lay a heap of lifeless birds. Intrigued by this phenomenon, Jinno pondered its cause. Shortly thereafter, a local woman approached the priest, and he inquired about the stone. The woman revealed that the Sessho-Seki was haunted by the spirit of Tamamo-no-Mae. She recounted the tale of the fox courtesan before vanishing into thin air. Jino realized that the woman had been the ghostly spirit of the infamous Tamamo-no-Mae. Soon after, Jino conducted a Buddhist memorial service over the stone. From that day onward, the Sessho-Seki ceased emitting poisonous gas and no longer harmed anyone. People believed that the spirit of Tamamo-no-Mae had been exorcised from the rock. In Tochigi Prefecture, Japan, locals believe that the Sessho-Seki, which seals the nine-tailed fox, is located there. Every year, many tourists visit the area, and this stone has become a national treasure of Japan. However, on March 5, 2022, the Sessho-Seki suddenly split in half. Many people interpreted this as an ominous sign, believing that either the nine-tailed fox had returned or that something bad might happen. Perhaps someone beautiful around you is the incarnation of Tamamo-no-Mae. If you enjoy my channel, please help by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you next time.